it was kind of the same situation. It was tough to get kids on campus. And we just had that same group that everybody kind of bought in what we were trying to do. And we won that first championship. And then after that, kids always want to go to a winning program. So we ended up winning a couple more. And then I ended up coaching at Arcadia University, which was a reality check for me because it was a different type of school outside of Philadelphia. You're going to recruit different type of kids. And the first year we struggled. You know, we only won 9 games, and the following year we won 20 games, and we got our type of kids in that program that we wanted. And then my last coaching stop was Philadelphia University, now known as Jefferson University. Division II school, very limited with certain things that they do, comparing to the other schools in the conference. And I learned right off the bat that now I have scholarship money to play with. And, you know, it's very similar to what the situation is here at Mansfield. Kind of had some down years. They wanted to get back into postseason, and we brought in those kids, the kids that fit into what we were trying to do. Kind of the same blueprint I used at Misericordia and Arcadia, and that's what we plan on doing here at Mansfield. Use our connections, coach and I's from all over Pennsylvania and even the junior college ranks to bring in the right kids.
How important do you think, because you mentioned how important recruiting is, the fact that you have coached here in Pennsylvania, you know the areas here in Pennsylvania, you know hot spots. How much does that help you in terms of recruiting?
Pennsylvania is probably a gold mine when it comes to baseball. You go everywhere from Erie, Pennsylvania, down to Westchester, Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia. There's baseball, and there's a lot of baseball. And I think what separates Pennsylvania from the other states is there's good baseball people that are teaching it. My experiences with my last 3 stops, I had to recruit in all of those different areas. So Mansfield, being a PSAC school and academically what it offers, it shouldn't be a problem to bring in those kids. But it is so important. You can't have a bad class in the PSAC. You have a bad class, it's going to hurt, not the following year, but down the road. So recruiting is crucial every single year, making sure that we have a strong class going forward and we have an idea. And we have to get ahead of the following class a year early. Make sure we ID those guys so we get ahead of some of those other schools.
Another thing that I'm sure you're familiar with as well, coaching in Pennsylvania, is the weather is not always the kindest to us here. So what is your strategy? Obviously, we have the gym where a lot of our guys are practicing, but when you look outside like today and there's a foot of snow on the ground, what is your challenges and how do you approach those challenges when the weather doesn't cooperate?
Well, first, we go back to the recruiting side of things. Everybody would love a kid from Texas or Florida, but I've coached those kids. It usually takes a year or so for those kids to get used to the Northeast weather. But the current kids, you just got to have tough kids, you know. And I think it all starts with, you know, coach and I. And if they see that we're cold, they see that we're struggling, they're going to do the same thing. You got to be creative. You got to think outside the box. It's not just us. It's every school. You know, Division I, Division II, Division III in the Northeast. You got to get creative what you're going to do indoors. I'm a guy that likes to keep things fresh. You know, the kids might get bored inside. Well, coaches get bored too. You know, we got to keep doing things, thinking outside the box. It might be one day where we're in a cage doing something, and then the next day we'll completely flip the script and we'll do a lot more agility stuff, or we'll work on defense picks. We just got to keep things fresh indoors. And, you know, as long as the snow's off the turf, we're going to try to be outside. I know Coach, that's what he wants to do, and defensively, there's no better way than being outside. And you got to get used to the weather anyway.
So with that too, another thing is, what are your main focuses too here early in the season? Obviously, this is like your first week, so you haven't really had a chance to work with everyone. But early in the season and in this winter time going into the spring, what are some of the things that you want to focus on and that you have focused on with the athletes early on?
Again, I want to meet the guys. I want to know what type of kid they are, what's the pros and cons, you know, of the last couple of years, and how they like to do certain things. And then, you know, plan on doing it either today or tomorrow, kind of introduce myself, what I look for in a player, how I am as a coach. And I want to keep things simple. You know, baseball is such a hard game. score more runs than the other team. If it's the long ball, small ball way, offensively, we're going to do whatever it takes to score more runs than the other team. Mm-hmm. Defensively, we got to communicate, and we got to just put ourselves in the right position to make plays. You're going to fail. You're going to make errors. You're going to strike out. You're going to get into slumps. But my job is to kind of make sure our guys have confidence going into the first game, and throughout the season, try to stay even keel. We don't want to go down and then high, down. We want to stay even keel. One of the things that I want our guys to be, you don't know if we're down 10 or up 10. Mm-hmm. We're going to play hard every time, and just stay simple. Make things simple, make things easy for the guys, and, we'll see how it goes.
I guess one of the challenges that you'll face, you and Coach Shalato face, is obviously your regime is replacing, in a way, I know Shalat was part of that regime, but a regime that has been the most successful regime in probably Mansfield athletics mm-hmm. as a whole. Do you address, or how do you address, the shortcomings of the last couple of seasons without trying to dwell on what has happened in the last couple of seasons?
Well, that's something you hear what the players have to say mm-hmm. about that. And again, you want to make the seniors this last year memorable. What does it take when I ask a kid to play for Mansfield? Mm-hmm. What do they want it to be? And my goal is to try to do that, try to help them do that. If that's win a championship, that's win a championship. Or if that's, we get into the playoffs, or if that's beating some of the top teams, I'm going to try to do my best at that. And my whole focus as a coach and my philosophy is just get better every day. I don't care about what's going on outside of, Mansfield. We just got to get better. We got to worry about ourselves, get better each day. And, I like to say, get better 1% every day. If you do that, we're going to be fine, and the program will head in the right direction.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
As I've gone through school, I've been trying to pay off my tuition as I go, and it wouldn't have been possible without the help of the Mansfield Foundation.
I mean, the Mansfield Foundation already helped me a lot. As of right now, I don't have any school debt whatsoever, and I know the Mansfield Foundation has definitely helped with all the scholarships that I've received over the years for that.
The Mansfield Foundation has helped me out several times throughout my college career. They have helped keep my finances intact.
If you have any sort of instincts, you can get a feel of good people and bad people. Like, the people at the foundation are as straightforward as they come.
This year, we had you, the viewer, vote each week for the top play of that week, and we took the winners, we placed them into a bracket to determine which is the play of the fall. The top two plays were teammates going head-to-head in Christy Byers' game-winning shootout goal up against Olivia Wagner's playoff-clinching goal. The results are in, and this is your play of the fall. Driving forward into the circle. Leaks away, still fighting for it. A battle in. Dana Evans cranks it. Turnaround shot is in! That's a goal for the Mounties! Congratulations to field hockey's Olivia Wagner on the outstanding play and claiming that you have the play of the fall.
The It's On Us campaign is a statewide campaign that invites everyone to play an active role in ending sexual assault. Mansfield University demonstrated its commitment to the It's On Us campaign objectives and became one of 38 colleges and universities awarded nearly $1 million in its On Us PA grant.
By standing up and speaking out, we shine a light on this situation. But words are not enough. We, as a Commonwealth, can and must continue to do all we can to protect these students. I applaud all those here at Mansfield working together to curb this epidemic and to create a campus culture of safety and education first, for all those who choose to become a mountaineer. By signing the It's On Us pledge, the Mansfield University community is sending a clear message on sexual assault.
Pride and passion drives the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. From 55 NCAA championship teams, 294 individual national champs, and counting. Who's next? Make the PSAC yours. PSAC Proud is winning in athletics and in the classroom. Over 3,100 PSAC student athletes are honored as scholar athletes. It's a perfect mix of athletics and academics. It's time to make the PSAC yours.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
UPMC is a visionary hospital, cutting-edge research, all of the exciting things out on the edge of medicine.
There's a challenge every day, and there's the potential to help. When given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, that's a tremendous feeling.
UPMC's interest in bringing the best there is in the science and research and bringing that bench side to the bedside is what makes a huge difference.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Decker Gymnasium on the campus of Mansfield University along with Drew Patrick. I'm Dennis Sweeney with the play-by-play action of the men's contest featuring the Mansfield Mounties taking on the nationally ranked number 6 in the country, Indiana University, Pennsylvania Crimson Hawks. In the first game, in case you missed that one, it was all Crimson Hawks as the women defeated Mansfield by a score of 71-38. The leading scorer in the game was Courtney Alexander. She had 6 threes for 18 points, 13 for Maura Deanna, 11 for Natalie Myers, Justina Mascaro, 10 for Raja Fink off the bench. Mansfield was led by Jasmine Hilton with 10 points. So Drew Patrick, now we come to the men's game. And we thought that the IUP women's squad was tough. The men are just as tough. Yeah. They are undefeated. They're 6-0 in November. It's the 5th time out of the last, I think, 7 years. I have my little note here. Yes, 5th time in 7 years, IUP has opened the year with 6 straight wins or better. Mansfield 2-game losing streak, but I know with Coach John Zenesi, he's looking forward to the challenge of this afternoon's game.
And I talked very briefly about Mansfield catching the IUP women at a bad time in terms of they want to respond quickly. Mansfield's loss on Wednesday was an absolute heartbreaker. They were up by 10 with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go and lost that game in overtime. This team has been chomping at the bit to get back onto a court and play basketball again. They were very frustrated, very disheartened after that last game. You got a brick wall in front of you, but we'll see if they'll run through it.
As Coach Zenesi said, they have some talented players on this team. That he says he loves the challenge of playing a top 10 team in the country, and they'll have that here this afternoon. So today being the 78th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, it's also Military Appreciation Day here at Mansfield University in Decker Gymnasium. So we will stay here for the playing of our national anthem as both teams are on the floor, and then we will have the introduction of the starting lineups.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to have the Mansfield University Army ROTC Color Guard present the color line.
The Mansfield ROTC Color Guard is presenting the colors here before the playing of our national anthem. Playing of our national anthem will now lead into the introduction of our starting lineups, and we'll go over those right now, featuring the visiting IUP Crimson Hawks. They will start in the backcourt, 6'1" redshirt sophomore Dave Morris, 6'4" senior Malik Miller, 6'4" redshirt sophomore Amani Foster, 6'6" senior Chucky Humphreys, and 6'3" junior Shondale Jones. The Crimson Hawks are under the leadership of Coach Joe Lombardi, his 14th year as the head basketball coach at IUP. For the Mansfield Mounties, they will start 6'1" senior Jameer Green, 6'5" junior Taylor Sweeney, 6'8" senior Trevor English, the man in the middle, and 6'2" junior Garrett Cook, 6'1" senior Tyler Moff. The Mounties are under the leadership of John Zenesi, his second year as head basketball coach. Mansfield 2-5 overall, 1-1 in conference play, while the Crimson Hawks 2-0 in conference play, 6-0 overall, and ranked in the top 10 in the country. So, Brent Patrick, Mounties, like the women contest, the men have just as tall a task to conquer here this afternoon, and they'll be without one of their star players, that being Christian Simmons.
Christian Simmons out for today's game with an undisclosed injury. That's a big loss. We up here have nicknamed him the Bulldog. Probably not going to catch on anyone other than us up here in the booth, but he plays like it. Not having that high-energy player on the court is going to be a big hole for this Mansfield team.
As you said, they came off a tough loss the other night against Robert Wesleyan. As you said, a last-second jumper at the end of regulation sent the game into overtime, and they couldn't miss Roberts Wesleyan with the three-pointers, and that did in the Mounties. So this will be, as you said, you talk about a bounce-back game. This is a key one and a challenging one that Coach Zenesi is, as he said to me, looking forward to.
Yeah, and the other big challenge, we know this IUP, much like we just saw with the women, this IUP team can score. Mansfield has struggled this year defensively, has had their wins were one of those wins was a 100-99 win. The other, they held a team under 70 points. But every other game, the opposing team has hit the 80 mark at the very least. It's been a tough outing for this Mansfield defense. They worked heavily defensive this week after Wednesday, especially after that game. They worked in the last couple days very heavy on the defensive side. We'll see if that pays off. This team has to get off to a quick start. They have shooters around there. All four, other than Big Trev English, you got players in this starting group who can shoot and make the three.
And that's one of the things I talked to Coach Lombardi yesterday, and he said, he's impressed by the team that Coach Zenesi put together, and just what you said, they have terrific shooters. They got to be careful with that. Now, they're without one of their star players. Tommy Demitranis tore his ACL, and he said, what was once our strength being rebounding, he says, I think it's more of a weakness now that we have to focus on, because losing a player of Demitranis' capabilities, they've had to adjust. So that's the name of basketball. How you overcome injuries, how you overcome adversity, and we'll see this afternoon as both teams take the floor. Mansfield in their home white jerseys, the IUP Crimson Hawks in their road black, and we're ready to tip it off. The referees, the man with the basketball is Donald Kiefer, and he will be joined by Myron Hendrick and Dewan Jones. Trev English is at center. The tip is won by the Crimson Hawks. Armani Foster gets it out front to Dave Morris. And it looks like Mansfield's sitting back in a little bit of 2-3 zone action. So as a result, the Crimson Hawks are setting up their zone offense. Now out front again, Morris. Left wing, now Armani Foster drives in. The lefty layup is good. He found that opening in the zone, and right away, 2-0 IUP.
Just a quick head fake almost, and then found that open lane for the quick two.
Here's Tyler Moff. Point guard out front, left hand, now to Garrett Cook. Between the legs. Now man-to-man defense employed by the Crimson Hawks. Left wing is Taylor Sweeney, no relation, out front to Moff, who tries to force the pass into the big man Trevor English, and it's out of bounds. Turnover gives the ball right back to IUP.
English looked like he may have slipped on something or expected the pass to go back.
And that's funny, that first possession for Mansfield was a turnover, and that was one of the things Coach Zenesi told me earlier this week. He says, we've got to cut down turnovers, and Armani Foster just hits a three, and he has all 5 of IUP points. They lead 5-0. Sweeney on the left wing outside the arc. As movement, Trevor English is in the post play. Right wing now is Jamar Green into English. Skip pass to Sweeney for 3. In and out. Rebound into the hands of Malik Miller.
And one of the things that makes Trevor English so dangerous for the Mountaineers is he's a big man who can pass. Not only is he a force down low, but he's got soft hands and is able to dish. Sweeney missed the 3, but it was open for him.
And as Mansfield needs to hit those shots as they trail already 5-0. First half action here from Marion Decker Gymnasium on the campus of Mansfield University. Tyler Moff, the senior guard, left-hand dribble. He's into the paint. Now he's double-teamed. Kick back out now to Miller. No good. Ball is loose into the hands of Malik Miller. As Jamar Green had it. Here's Armani Foster again, wide open. Missed it that time. Rebound come back out off the glass, too hard off the glass that time. The shot was taken by Shondale Jones. Here's Moff with it between his legs. Cross court now to Miller. Green, Here's the shot taken down by Malik Miller. Foster, right wing. Penetrates back out. Miller. Bang! 8-zip, just like that. And IUP is on fire.
Yeah, a quick timeout here for Mansfield. And one of the things that you saw last time the Mounties had the ball that Coach Hennessy was angry about and is trying to get his team to work on is the rest of the four of the Mountaineers that were on the floor all dropped back after that shot went up. They had no one crash the net and just expect Trevor to win that battle. He gets outnumbered down low, and that's how IUP takes that away and does not give Mansfield a second opportunity.
Well, you look at the IUP's, their guard, Dave Morris, he is, 6'1", but then you got Miller 6'4", Foster 6'4", Humphrey 6'6", Shondale Jones 6'3", and they're all very athletic. And as a result, they are off to a quick 8-zip lead with 17:15 left in this first half. Taylor Sweeney out front, and it's stolen away, taken by Miller. Oh, check that, not Malik Miller. That was stolen by Chucky Humphreys, and Humphreys missed the layup. And fortunately, Tyler Moff walks the ball up the floor on the far sideline.
Yeah, Coach Lombardi can't be happy. That's happened a couple times.
Here's Moff, back rimmed it. English gets the rebound. Good move. Missed it. And still fighting for it, but taken away by Humphreys. Here come the Crimson Hawks. Right wing wide open to Foster. Foster drives baseline. Kick out. Malik Miller. Back rimmed. Ball loose. Recovered and taken by Taylor Sweeney. Outlets now to Jameer Green. Near side of the court now brings it back out. English had position inside. They missed him. Outside Garrett Cook. Cook drives in, left side over to English, who missed the chippy inside. Tough shot.
Yeah, that's usually his bread and butter, that quick spin down in the lane. Just couldn't get it to go.
Miller finds Foster. Wide open is Morris. He missed it. They battle underneath. Alternate possession gives the ball back to the Mounties. They trail 8-0 with 16:05 left here in the first half. Now checking in is Ethan Porterfield. He's in for Chucky Humphreys.
I'll say just the length and the athleticism of these Crimson Hawks has really shown in this first 4-minute stretch here.
Yeah, as Coach Hennessy told me earlier this week, Brett, that he looks at the fact that they need to get stops on defense. Well, they got one there inside to English. He's got position. He head ball fakes and good move inside.
Trevor English is very patient when he has the ball. He'll let the play develop, and he is a big enough body and has enough ball skills to be able to get that one up and in.
Skip pass over to Armani Foster. There's Porterfield. Does not get the kind roll, and English is there to corral the rebound. 8-2. IUP on top of the Mounties, along with Brent Patrick. Dennis Sweeney on hand from Decker Gymnasium on the campus of Mansfield University. Out front, Taylor Sweeney is harassed. Gets it over to English. English, he'll take the foul line jumper. Does not get it. All IUP Crimson Hawks underneath. Armani Foster. Skip pass now to Malik Miller. Miller, he'll take the jumper. Oh, they're coming out of nowhere to get that rebound was Shondale Jones. Out front now, crossover dribble, Foster. Morris, he'll pull it back out. Now at the foul line, that's Jones. He'll take a three. Pulled out, missed it. Rebound, Cook.
That was a good old heat check. Just step back shot. Couldn't get that one to go.
Well, there's one of the stops that Coach Hennessy is talking about. It's 8-2 after IUP came out hitting their first 8 points. Here are the Mounties. They've now recovered with 4 in a row by Trevor English.
Bread and butter. Get it down low to Trevor English and let him finish at the rim.
Out front now, Dave Morris. Foul line, wide open turnaround jumper. He's fouled, hit on the wrist. And taking the shot was Shondale Jones.
Turnaround. Jameer Green had a good idea to get a hand up, just came from the wrong angle, caught him in the back.
So the TV timeout, media timeout, with 14-12 left in the first half. With the score, Indiana University of Pennsylvania Crimson Hawks 8, and Mansfield Mounties 4. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Pottertown, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
It's time to make the PSAC yours. More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in 23 championship sports at 18 universities, educating more than 118,000 students, and supported by an alumni base of over 900,000. All in and all ready to make the PSAC yours. It's the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference.
Along with Drew Patrick, this is Dennis Sweeney on hand from Decker Gymnasium on the campus of Mansfield University. And at the foul line will be shooting for the Crimson Hawks will be Shondale Jones. He will be shooting too as he was hit on the elbow. Jones's first is in and out. Jones is a 6'3" junior from the Kiski School in Pittsburgh, PA. Jones is second is good. So 1 for 2. It's 9-4. IUP on top.
He'll get a breather, went right to the bench after that, and Chucky Humphreys came back into the contest.
Tyler Moff out front. Cross court now to Jameer Green. Green, left wing, jumper. Good by Garrett Cook, a three-pointer, and it's 9-7.
The most pure shot on the team comes from the hands of number 33, Garrett Cook. He can shoot. He's got to just take more of those, and Coach wants to see more shots coming from him.
Shot is good that time on a running one-hander by Dave Morris.
Just hung up in the air. Tyler Moff had a good angle to jump, but just the athleticism of Morris to just float there.
Here's Moff. Good head and ball fake. He'll take the 18-footer. Missed it. Rebound. Skying to get it is Malik Miller. Miller, right-hand dribble over the timeline. He'll take it, kick it back out. Morris, he'll pop from three. Doesn't get it. Ball is loose. Rebound comes down to Humphreys. Back out front now, and that's going to be a hand check foul on Tyler Moff. So he knew that Miller was going to blow right by him, Drew, and as a result, he gets called for the personal, his first, team second.
Yeah, that one, Tyler Moff just got out of position, led to the hand check foul.
So after jumping out to an 8-0 lead, Mansfield has battled back. They're down 4, 11-7. Driving in, the floater is good. Good shot by Anthony White, who just checked in for the Crimson Hawks. Now Moff out front. It's 13-7. Moff between the legs. Sustains the screen by English, but Cook will get it. Handoff to, and there was a break for the Mounties because that was a fast break waiting for a slam dunk as it was a kick ball, and it's kicked by IUP, so it will be Mansfield basketball.
Yeah, the possession never technically changed, though, so 10 on the shot clock is an important thing to keep in mind.
And now
it didn't start right away.
Referee Myron Kendrick.
Or they put it back to 20.
Excuse me.
So ignore everything I just said.
That's okay. We're human. Believe me, I've made my share of mistakes. Many today already. Here's Moff, right wing Sweeney. Sweeney drives in traffic. The scoop shot short, but English is there to gather it up and put it in. Well, Trevor English has 6 points, Drew, and he is dominating inside.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he needs to, is winning the glass and is getting that easy shot for him.
Porterfield, left wing now to White. White, 10-foot fall away, facial, no good, but a foul will be over the back.
Trevor English was the one who drew that.
And that will be the first team foul against the Crimson Hawks. And the foul is on Chucky Humphreys. 13-9. IUP timeout. Media timeout with 11:57 left in this first half with the score IUP 13, Mansfield 9. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
UPMC brings so much to the table. They're just a comprehensive visionary system.
UPMC is innovative and always on the cutting edge of technology.
Defining not only healthcare, but health.
Its expertise, its focus on patients and what is best for patients.
As UPMC, we're able to elevate the standard of care. Just a wonderful opportunity.
We're back at Decker Gymnasium on the campus of Mansfield University, along with Drew Patrick, Dennis Sweeney on hand for men's action, with the IUP Crimson Hawks leading the Mansfield Mounties 13-9. We're under the 12-minute mark here at Mansfield. With the ball is Jameer Green. He'll bring it out front now. IUP pulling up in a man-to-man defense. Taylor Sweeney. He is dribbling behind his back outside the three-point arc. Here's Trevor English, who has just been dominating inside. Missed the layup that time as he took Porterfield to the basket and missed the shot. But that's the game plan, it looks like, Drew, is to throw that ball inside and let English take care of things.
Yeah, English is going to get a bit of a breather here. That time wanted a foul, but he's been so dominant you almost expect it to go in even as a referee.
You anticipate those, and as a result, it will be IUP basketball. They're up by 4. They jumped out to a quick 8-zip lead to begin this game. Mansfield has come back on a couple good shots by Trevor English and also Garrett Cook, but then right there is Malik Miller with a 3.
Beautiful shot, even was contested, just pure off the fingertips.
He has 6 now. Green, kick out Moff. Moff is covered by Foster. Now he's double teamed. He's in trouble, finds Cook out front. He'll pop from 3. Swish! There's that quick shot, good shot, and 2 threes for Garrett Cook.
You fight the 3 on the other end with your pure shooter and Garrett Cook. You need to keep looking at that. That's what Mansfield might have to do. Trust number 33.
And that was a tough shot. He had a hand in his face inside Porterfield. There's a good pass in the post. And for Ethan Porterfield, the freshman, he has his first basket. It's a 6-point Crimson Hawk lead, 18-12. Coming to the scorers table for the Mounties will be Richard Opong. Now Cook, he's covered tightly, now drives in. The scoop is good. Yes, and it counts. So fake the 3, take the 2, get fouled, and attempt the old-fashioned three-point play for Garrett Cook.
Yeah, that time, and Cook sold that fake extremely well and able to scoop that up. They could do nothing but foul him at that point.
Good move on the bounce, and then the underhand scoop, and he was fouled on the play, and the foul is on Anthony White. And Cook completes it. And he has 9 points to lead the Mounties. closest Mansfield's been since the opening tip. It's 18-15, IUP on top. White on the right-hand side now. Humphreys back to White out top of the three-point arc. Again, Mansfield sitting back in a 2-3 zone, but there to hit a three is Chucky Humphreys.
Live and die by the three. This is exactly how last game started for Mansfield and Roberts Wesleyan. They went back and forth with the three ball.
Well, that's the fourth three-pointer made by IUP here this afternoon. We're under 10 minutes. Moff drives in. Tough shot. Almost tipped in that time by Jonathan Ward. And it's an offensive foul. Good pickup that time. Good job by Richard Opong, who just came into the game. He picks up the offensive foul.
Richard Opong is one of those guys. He's a scrappy player, much like Christian Simmons, and he's going to have to fill that role. But a guy coming off the bench who will give 100% when he's on the court.
Shondale Jones picked up the offensive foul. That's his first. We're at the 9:23 mark here of the first half. It's IUP 21, Mansfield 15. There's Jonathan Ward given inside lefty off the glass, too short. Ethan Porterfield couldn't control the loose ball, and it goes out of bounds, and it will remain with the Mounties. Yeah. And I'll tell you, Drew, from that standpoint, that was a good defensive play by Ward. Even though he missed the shot, he forced the turnover.
Absolutely. And this is only John Ward's second appearance on the year. His first was earlier this week.
Oh, short is Tyler Moff. Rebound into the hands of the Crimson Hawks. Out front, wide open three. That time they don't make it, Anthony White, but the rebound comes down to Armani Foster in traffic, puts it up and in.
Just powered his way in there and would not be denied on that layup.
He has 7, and that's what the lead is 8 for IUP, 23-15. Sweeney will pop from 3. In, out, and in. Kind roll at the home court here at Decker Gymnasium. Three-pointer for Sweeney. It's a 5-point IUP lead. For Sweeney, that's his first bucket. They're driving in baseline, off the glass and fouled, and going to the foul line to complete the three-point play. It looks to be Shondale Jones.
Wow. That's really all I
There's
can
not
say.
much you can say. I mean, that's an athletic move right there, because he drove in, he got hit, and he still was able to keep it together to put the basket through the hole, and as a result, it's back up to a 5-point lead with the potential of making it 6. Rim rattler that drops for Jones, 24-18. Crimson Hawks on top of the Mounties from Mansfield. Along with Drew Patrick, Dennis Sweeney on hand, inside Jonathan Ward in the paint, kick out, wide open 3. Off the glass, no good that time by Richard Opong.
There was almost a little indecision there for Opong before he went up and shot that, and that may have altered his shot.
I think he may have thought, wow, I can't believe I'm this wide open. Here is Morris. Morris almost loses the handle, but kicks out to a wide open shot that time by Foster. Again, he missed it. Jameer Green on the near sideline. Right-hand dribble. Now Mansfield will pull it out offensively. We're under 7.5 left in this first half. IUP up 8, 26-18. Garrett Cook has it stolen away by Shondale Jones, and then Cook commits the foul.
Foul out of necessity almost to try and prevent a big play on the other end.
And it looks like there'll be a timeout down on the floor. Want to mention that this year Mansfield Athletics is proud to partner with UPMC Susquehanna. It's proud to work with Mansfield University to keep athletes on the field. Don't let an injury sideline you. Visit upmcsusquehanna.com/sportsmed for information on their sports medicine services. Dennis Sweeney, along with Drew Patrick, the Assistant Sports Information Director here at Mansfield University. And I'll tell you, nationally ranked, top 10 IUP came in here. They came out with a haymaker, led 8-0, Drew, but you got to give the Mounties credit. They've battled back. They may still be trailing by 8, but that could have gone south very early
Oh,
if
yeah.
they didn't come back and hit some key shots. Garrett Cook with 3 3-pointers.
Yeah, Garrett Cook, one of those being the old-fashioned way. Absolutely. Garrett Cook has come. You want your shooters to shoot. That's what they have preached to this group. Mansfield is a very good offensive team. Offensively, they've been stellar this year. It's the defensive side of things that they need to clean up. And it's just one of those things, they get stuck in playing zone, and you have a team like IUP who also has shooters, and they've done a good job of finding those open shooters.
Coach Zenesi also told me one of the key things, while the team shoots very well, they don't shoot well from the foul line. He said that we're near the bottom of the PSAC, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, in free throw shooting. He goes, I don't understand why, but he goes, that's a point of emphasis, that getting to the foul line and making free throws.
Yeah, they had a couple of opportunities to put the game away on Wednesday and just missed those free throws.
Almost a turnover on that possession, but driving in, Morris, and there's a good steal by Cook, was right in the passing lane as Morris tried to dish off to his teammate. So Mansfield has it at the 7-minute mark here in the first half. They trail 26-18. Right wing Cook. Out front now Sweeney. Sweeney, again, man-to-man defense by the Crimson Hawks. And here's a shot by Garrett Cook. His third three-pointer, 12 points on the afternoon.
Yeah, Garrett Cook, they set up the play. Perfect screen to set him up to just pop.
In the corner now, back out. Long three, no. And a rebound taken by Trevor English. Here come the Mounties. They trail by 5. Set play called by Jameer Green. Sweeney at the outside the three-point arc. Cook goes back door, clears it away for Sweeney, drives in and puts it up and in. Cook pulled the defense away, allowed Sweeney to go in, and he's got 5.
And Sweeney is used to playing that forward last year. Just same thing we saw with the women's game. The height, really bad thing that the Mounties had to deal with. He played the 5 last year.
Well, he's now he's playing with his facing the basket. Here's a long three, no good that time. That was an error ball by Chucky Humphreys. Mansfield has a chance to potentially tie or cut this lead to 1. We're at 5:42 left here in the first half. Top ranked, one of the top 10 teams in the country in Division II, the IUP Crimson Hawks, undefeated. Here's Trevor English. Nice try to pass inside, but off the hands of Sweeney, out of bounds. Thought Trev had a shot that time, Drew, to put it up and in, but he was being unselfish and unfortunately went off the hands of Sweeney out of bounds, and it will be IUP basketball.
Sweeney had someone draped on his back, which is why that pass got immediately tipped right back against him.
Here in the corner now. Again, Mansfield sitting back in a 2-3 zone. Skip pass to Foster. In and out. Those threes aren't dropping now, but there's a putback by Chucky Humphreys, as Humphreys was able to find the opening in that zone and get the rebound, put it up and in. It's, again, an IUP 5-point lead. Here's English inside. Powers into the basket. Trevor English now with 8 points on 4 field goals. Now on the right wing, deep in the corner now is Humphreys. Kick out Morris. He head fakes. Now over to Malik Miller. Bang!
Man, hand in his face didn't matter. Dagger of a shot.
3 threes for Malik Miller, 9 on the afternoon, and it's a 6-point lead for the Crimson Hawks. Crossover dribble almost stolen by Morris. Recovered, however, by Green over to Moff. Moff looking for English. English is being pushed away from the post. Now he's back in there. Back and low. Here's a jumper. Green. No good. Rebound taken that time by Malik Miller.
Great battle underneath Chucky Humphreys against Trevor English. Took away that, and it turns into a transition bucket.
Yeah, Chucky Humphreys is there to put it in for 7 points. And it's back up to 8. That lead has gone from 3 to 8 most of this first half. And a travel called against Garrett Cook. Every time Mansfield kind of crawls back within a possession of tying, they end up falling back, and that's where we are with 3:55 left in the first half with the score, IUP 33, Mansfield 25. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun. No one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Along with Drew Patrick, Dennis Sweeney on hand. First half action. Men's basketball featuring the Mansfield Mounties entertaining the IUP Crimson Hawks in our first contest. The Crimson Hawks women's team defeated Mansfield by a score of 71-38. Here it's 33-25. IUP with the ball, with the lead. Armani Foster now at the point to Malik Miller inside Porterfield. Triple team, tries to find an opening, and he does. He was bailed out that time by none other than Shondale Jones.
Yeah, perfect backdoor cut. Got just into the open lane for the quick two.
And there's that hand check foul out front. The referees have been consistent both in the men's and women's game. Anthony White.
That was one of the point of emphasis, especially in this conference after last year, to look at those hand check fouls.
Well, they've been calling them almost every opportunity. Both teams, they've been consistent, the referees in both games. So Tyler Moff with the ball. We're at the 3:20 mark. It's a 10-point IUP lead. Moff inside to English. English triple teamed and gets it stolen away.
Tried to get the pass out to Green, but yeah, you mentioned triple team. There wasn't much space for him to move.
Right wing now, White. White, left-hand dribble, now between the legs. Back out front now to Miller. Back to White. White drives baseline, and it was knocked out. Looked like Riley Collins had knocked it off of White, but it is instead still remaining with IUP. There's 14 on the shot clock. Wide open three. Bang. Malik Miller. You can find right now, I think, Drew, the fact is you cannot leave these guards open. That's the fourth three by Miller, and he has 12, and it's a 13-point IUP lead. English back to Green, and he loses the handle. Here's another turnover. Back out now to White. Bounce pass, spin move off the glass and in. That one by Armani Foster. Putting on a show now, Foster, he's got 9 points, and it's a 15-point lead. Just like that, Drew, from the standpoint it was 3, now 15. Moff just can't buy it. Rebound English, and he's hacked, and he'll go to the foul line.
14-4 run since it was that 3-point spread that the Crimson Hawks have gone on.
So now Trevor English is at the foul line. And White picks up his third personal foul. So Trevor English, shooting 48% from the foul line, makes good on the first. So far, the Mounties are 2 for 2. I'm gambling on that broadcaster's jinx.
Well, Trevor English has fallen into a little bit of a slump from the line.
And the shooter's touch rolls in. He's got double figures with 10 points now, and he stops that run, that 14-4 run. We're nearing the 2-minute mark. Pass inside, ball loose. It will remain with IUP, as the call was made by referee Myron Hendrick. Taking it out of bounds underneath their own basket will be Foster. He almost has it turned away. Moff hits the court, but it's recovered by, wow, what a...
That inbound play must have been go off 44's face, and hopefully it gets loose, because that's what it looked like, and they got it to convert for 2 points.
Dave Morris with his second basket for 4. It's a 15-point lead, 42-27. And a foul in the paint. that it will be against Ethan Porterfield. He's trying to establish position down low against Trevor English. He loses that battle, so now Mansfield will take it out of bounds underneath their own basket. Jameer Green with the ball. He's looking, still looking, gets it to English in the right corner. English will take in Porterfield all by himself, and they call an offensive foul on English. As Porterfield, he took a shot, Drew.
Yeah. One of those, and English is going to be called for that. That gets called a lot in the PSAC. You spin, you're going, if they well time to take that charge, that will be called every single time, and he's got to watch that.
Well, Porterfield, after he got hit by that one, he's got to be checking to make sure he didn't lose any chiclets, because I'll tell you, that was he took a shot.
Absolutely. Just some maintenance here on the court.
It gives us a little breather to indicate that Mansfield Athletics is proud to partner with the Wellsboro House Restaurant and Brewery, located on a short drive west of Mansfield. The Wellsboro House Restaurant and Brewery is your game day destination for great food and drinks. The restaurant offers a wide variety of great meals, and don't forget to ask about the brewery tours. Visit the WestingHouse.com for more information. And on that cue, here's a turnover. Tyler Moff is fouled and puts it in, and he's fouled by Dave Morris. And Moff gets his first basket of the game, and he has a chance to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, he hit the deck hard, and he does get up. He's dealt with a nagging injury all year long, so that definitely took a shot. But if you're Morris, you do foul like that. When you get a breakaway like that, if you're going to foul at that point, you have to foul hard to try and force them. And it's high risk, high reward, and that time it becomes a reward for the Mansfield Mountaineers.
And Tyler Moff, he's a tough kid. I broadcasted many of his games in high school when he was at Elmira High School playing for Coach Ryan Johnson, and he can take a hit, and he knew he was going to get hit on that going up to the basket. He had his eye on the basket, which is key on those layups, and he just completed the three-point play to give him 3 points on the game. So inside now, Porterfield, kick out to Miller. Miller drives into the paint. Back out Morris. It's a 12-point IUP lead. Wide open three, no good that time by Foster, and here comes Moff.
Mansfield, one of the things they focused on was that help defense. They did a much better job on that possession than we've seen in the game thus far.
Coach Zenesi was probably looking, let's try to milk this clock down. There's 13 on the shot, 39 on the game clock. They have an opportunity to get it under double figures. Garrett Cook has been silent the last couple of minutes after hitting some threes. Here's Moff. He'll take the jumper. Good! So there's 25 seconds left. Tyler Moff has scored 5 straight points. And Mansfield's up 10, and playing for the last shot will be the Crimson Hawks.
And Tyler Moff is such a smart player there. Goes with the head fake, knows they're going to be ultra aggressive, and pops the shot, takes the two. There's still a whole half to play.
Out front now is Miller. Miller, left wing, 3 seconds. The floater is blocked by English, but a foul is called.
Oh, man.
That's a tough call.
And I will say, to any referee's credit, I truthfully believe a block versus a charge might be the hardest call for any referee to make in any sport.
They have said that. Referees have told me that over the years as well, Drew, that the fact is that is a tough one. Of course, Coach Zenesi was looking for the charge, and that's the second on Trevor English, so he'll take a seat in the last 1.7 seconds, so he doesn't pick up a foul here going to half with 3. Well, Foster makes good on the second. The inbounds to Sweeney, 3-quarter court, well shot. But after jumping out to an early lead, 8-point lead, Mansfield battled back to cut it to 3, and then a 14-4 run extended that lead, and here we are at the half. The Indiana University, Pennsylvania Crimson Hawks, 43. The Mansfield Mounties, 32. We'll be back with our halftime report after these messages. This is Mansfield Basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Explore the Possibilities. My name is Glenn Batson. I'm the manager here at Rainbow Paradise Fishing Park, located in Potter County on Route 6, 7 miles east of Coudersport, Pennsylvania. And today we are going to talk about what we have to offer here at our fishing park. I got one. One of the first things I want to emphasize is that we are a privately owned park and facility. We are not affiliated with the state of Pennsylvania. And what that means is that you do not need a state fishing license in order to fish here in our lakes. We do offer two basic types of fishing plans. We have catch and release plans, and we also have catch and keep fishing plans. We have two plans for people that like to catch and keep fish. So if you're a person that enjoys eating fish, these are the plans for you. The first one I want to talk about is done in our larger 2-acre pond called Paradise Pond. With this plan, you simply pay an entrance fee per rod, and then you simply pay at the end by the pound for all the trout that you catch. This pond is stocked with various types of trout that we grow here on the property. Many people have commented on the taste of our fish, how good they are, and when you're done fishing, we can process, fillet, and bag the fish for you right at our facility here. Our second catch and keep plan is done in a smaller pond called Rainbow Run. Now this is where people that like to catch larger trout want to go. We stock this pond with various types of trout that are 17 inches all the way up to about 25 inches. And it works the same way as the other catch and keep plan. There's no time limit. We do ask that you net the fish. And again, when you're done fishing, you simply pay by the pound. One of our more popular plans is our catch and release with spinning rods and barbless circle hooks. That plan is done in this pond here that you can see, Sunset Lake. This is approximately a 5-acre pond stocked with all different types of trout of all sizes, panfish, bluegill, crappies, largemouth bass, and jumbo yellow perch. And the thing that's unique about this fishing plan is the fact that you can either release the fish that you catch or you can keep them. You have to follow a couple basic rules, which include the use of barbless circle hooks and making sure that you're very careful with handling the trout. And this is an hourly plan where you pay at a rate per hour and per rod. Another popular plan is for fly fishermen. On this plan, you can fish in two of our largest ponds. It's an hourly rate. You need to use a fly rod, and you also have to make sure that you pinch the barbs off of any of the flies that you use. For those people that catch a nice trout, they are able to keep fish with this plan also, and you just simply pay by the pound for whatever trout that you keep. I also want to mention that we do have group fishing plans here at our park. We've done everything from Boy Scout troops to birthday parties to large fly fishing groups. We ask that you would just simply call ahead. You can check our website. There's some information on the website about the group fishing plans, and we do offer group rates. One thing that people don't often think about is fishing in the fall. Most people associate fishing with spring and summer, and the reality is that fall fishing is great, especially for trout. Here at our park, we are open September and weekends in October. Water temperatures are on their way down, the days are getting shorter, and the fish really respond to that. They tend to be at their peak weights and they're in prime health, and we would just encourage people to come out and try some of our fishing plans in the fall. For more information about our fishing park and for current rates, please go to our website. For information about activities in our region, please go to visitpottertioga.com. I'm Glenn Batson here at Rainbow Paradise Fishing Park, and we look forward to seeing you at our fishing ponds.
This year, we had you, the viewer, vote each week for the top play of that week, and we took the winners, we placed them into a bracket to determine which is the play of the fall. The top two plays were teammates going head-to-head in Christy Byers' game-winning shootout goal up against Olivia Wagner's playoff-clinching goal. The results are in, and this is your play of the fall. Driving forward into the circle, leaks away, still fighting for it, a battle in. Dana Evans cranks it, turnaround shot is in! That's a goal for the Mounties! Congratulations to Field Hockey's Olivia Wagner on the outstanding play and claiming that you have the play of the fall.
We're at halftime here on the campus of Mansfield University Decker Gymnasium. Halftime of the men's contest with the IUP Indiana Pennsylvania Crimson Hawks leading the Mansfield Mounties by a score of 43-32. As you can see from our halftime statistics, the shooting percentage, IUP 50% overall. Mansfield not bad at 43%. 3 points, IUP 31%, Mansfield 40%. The rebounds relatively even. Turnovers, even though Coach Zenesi has indicated he does not like those turnovers, 8-4. So I'm joined along with Drew Patrick, who's the assistant SID here at Mansfield. And Drew, even though it's an 11-point game at this point, it could have been a lot worse, I think, for the Mounties because IUP came out off the bus red hot, 8-0 before we even played 2 minutes. Mansfield cut it to 3 at one point, but then all of a sudden a 14-4 run put out to a 15-point lead, which is the largest lead that IUPA, I'll get it right. I should by now at halftime here of the second game. Their 15-point lead was their biggest, and right now it's at 11 thanks to a 5-point run by Tyler Moff.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that 14-4 run really has been the difference. Both teams have thrown their punches in this game. They've had their opportunities. The deceptive stat that is on the screen right now is that 3-point percentage. IUP has taken a lot of threes. They've missed on a lot of them, but they have taken
19.
A lot of threes in that first half.
They're 6 for 19, while Mansfield is 4 for 10. And 3 of those were Garrett Cook, who was red hot early on. The other 3 was by Taylor Sweeney. But, yeah, 6 for 19. So you know Mansfield, which started out in that 2-3 zone, is saying, okay, you're going to have to beat us from the outside. And I'm sure Coach Joe Lombardi from IUP is talking about it right now.
That's one of the things, too, with the Mountaineers, just with their defensive struggles that they've had this year, along with how athletic this IUP team is, they really are stuck in that zone. They can't get out of that zone. They have to stick with that and go with that, and that leads to those opportunities from beyond the arc. That's how you challenge it, and they've done a good enough job here in that first half. You put up 19 threes, you're doing something right in the first half.
And 8 turnovers by Mansfield has resulted in 12 points by IUP, which I know Coach Zenesi is something that he told me about earlier this week. He said, you know, our turnovers many times just lead to baskets, and we've got to cut those down. In fact, he said to me, you know, we had 21 turnovers in that Roberts Wesleyan game on Wednesday night here, and that tough loss in OT. He says, you know, that's just not something that's way too many turnovers. So they're at 8 at the half, so you figure they're on pace for about 16 if they keep at this current level. And really, IUP has not picked up full court. These turnovers aren't really from full court pressure. They've been tight half-court man-to-man defense.
And looking defensively, what IUP is doing extremely well, and they started to do later in that first half, they started to double and triple team Trevor English, and they're trying to force Mansfield to find a second scorer. It's been Garrett Cook as your second scorer, but they are trying to force another player to make a difference in this game. And right now, it's been that two-headed monster. You saw Moff take advantage of that at the end of the half. They need more of that if they're going to try to climb back into this game.
Well, going through the leading scores, let's check in first with IUP with their 43 points. They were led by Malik Miller, 12 points, all on three-pointers. He had 4 of them. 10 points for Amani Foster, 7 for Chucky Humphreys, 6 for Shondale Jones, 4 for point guard Dave Morris, 2 for Anthony White, 2 for Ethan Porterfield, both off the bench, for 43 points for IUP. They, as we've talked about, they've shot 50% from the floor overall, but 32% from three-point country. For the Mounties, they're led by Garrett Cook with 12 points. Trevor English following up with 10 points with 2 personal fouls. 5 apiece for Taylor Sweeney and Tyler Moff. Jameer Green did not score. And you talked about this in the pregame show, Drew, from the standpoint that they could use Christian Simmons right now. Unfortunately, he's not able to play this afternoon, and I'm sure he's chomping at the bit, sitting on the bench, wanting to get out here and play.
You know what? He was doing a good job, though, of trying to pump up his team. He looked like a crazy person when they were on defense. He was pounding the chair. He was trying to get this team to have energy. He is an energetic human being. There's a reason I've called him the Bulldog, because that's the style he plays. He's super energetic. They missed that on the court. He's trying to get his team to feed off his energy from the bench on the defensive side. So he's still trying to make an impact of this game, even though he can't come in.
He's an assistant coach who's averaging 19.7 points a game, and that's a big hole for Coach Zenesi to fill. And you look at on IUP, on their standpoint, when I talked with Coach Lombardi the other day, he said, he was the reason why they're 6-0. He says it's how their players have built habits, and they're taking pride in their half-court defense. And you can see it here this afternoon. Mansfield's really had to work for their shots. They're collapsing in on Trevor English, and you pointed out many times during the first half that English is a good passer, and he's kicking it out. Cook was able to cash in on some of those three-pointers. So I think 11-point game, again, going back to what I said earlier, the late Al McGuire, the last 2 minutes of the first half and the first 2 minutes of the second half are key in any basketball game. And we'll see how Mansfield comes out here, because as a coaching pedigree of Joe Lombardi, who not only has been at IUP for 13 years, he was also an assistant coach under Jamie Dixon at the University of Pittsburgh for several years, and an assistant coach for Jimmy Barron when he was head coach at St. Bonaventure in the early aughts when they went to the tournament. In fact, I asked him that. I said, "You had a nice run." He says, "Yeah, we had a real nice run at Bonnie." So he knows what he's doing. He's a longtime coach, and I'm sure he's going to make some adjustments, as well as Coach Senesi.
Yeah, and one of the things, I said that is going to be important here early in those first 2 minutes is how this defense deals with Trevor English. They're going to try and force Mansfield to have someone else make that play. They're going to close in on Trev English and look for a quick shot. Look for Garrett Cook to get open. Look for Tyler Moff. Look for Jameer Green, who's had a quiet first half. He can shoot. Jameer Green is an enigma from this team because last year he was redshirted. And his team that he played with and this team, there's 2 people who carry over from that team. And that's Tyler Moff and that's Riley Collins from that previous regime.
And Jameer Green only took 3 shots in the first half, 0 for 3. He's the only one of the starters that has not scored yet for Mansfield. So it's been basically 5-6 players. The bench, 2 players off of IUP's bench have come in. But for Mansfield, we've seen Riley Collins for a little while and Richard Apong. But now we're starting second half action. The ball in the hands of the Crimson Hawks at the foul line. Again, against this zone defense that Mansfield has employed. They trail by 11. Here is Malik Miller. He tries to force a pass, and there's a turnover. Miller has it. Green, kick out. And they're calling an offensive foul on Jameer Green.
Yeah, one of those ones just came in a little out of control, shot in there. And anytime you see a shoulder hit the center of a body, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be called offensive.
Tough call to start this second half. along with Drew Patrick. Dennis Sweeney on hand for Mountie All Access. Game 2 of our doubleheader. IUP against the men of Mansfield. In the first game, IUP women defeated Mansfield 71-38. Here it's 43-32. Mansfield trailing the Crimson Hawks with the ball now. Out front is Green.
English.
Excuse me.
Got that rebound. He's 2 away from a double-double.
And he looks inside. Good move inside. He used the rim to ward off the defender, and English has 12.
That time there was no help defense with Trev English. He was free to just roam down there.
So it's a 9-point IUP lead, 43-34. Just underway here, second half action. Skip pass and a turnover. And Coach Lombardi just jumped off the bench on that one. He is not happy about that pass, which was a skip pass that went right into the bleachers.
Yeah, a couple of errant passes here for the Crimson Hawks to start here in the second half.
Tyler Moff outside the three-point arc on the left wing, trying to direct traffic. He wants Green to set a screen down low for Cook. Shot clock is down to 10. English kick out Green. They're leaving him wide open. He makes it. Well, there's the confidence builder.
What was I saying with Jameer Green? They're going to leave him alone because he hadn't had a point, and he's like, fine, leave me alone. I'll make this shot.
He couldn't believe it. He was so wide open. Those are the tough ones to make, to be honest with you, other than having a player's hand in his face. He had to think about that one. Here's a long three, no good. So another 6 for 20 now for the Crimson Hawks. It's a 6-point lead, 43-37. Mansfield with the ball. Tyler Moff, handoff Jameer Green. Green, who just hit a big three-pointer, so we'll see, Drew, if you called it, that this will break him open. He'll take a 15-footer. Good! 5 in a row for Jameer Green, and it's a 4-point IUP lead.
IUP was daring Mansfield to find another score. Jameer Green has answered that bell early.
Back in that zone defense are the Mounties. Here's a long three. No, another miss. Rebound English. Malik Miller, who has 4 threes, missed that one.
This next possession is important. If Mansfield scores here, if I'm Joe Lombardi, I'm taking a timeout.
I would agree. Sweeney out front to Jameer Green, who has just opened up with 5 consecutive points to Tyler Moff. Moff directing traffic. 10 on the shot clock. Moff drives baseline, double team. Somebody's open, and it's Green, and he puts it up and in. Yes, and it counts. Jameer Green on a give and go. Moff was double teamed, and Green cut to the basket, and there he was. 4-2.
He can score, folks. He's a guy you got to cover. He was open for a potential 3 as well. That time he was standing. He saw the double on Trev and said, here's a lane for me, and shot in there, and a massive, massive shot.
So we'll take a timeout with 17:06 left in this second half, with the score. IUP 43, Mansfield 41. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
It's time to make the PSAC yours. More than 7,500 student athletes working to become champions in 23 championship sports at 18 universities, educating more than 118,000 students, and supported by an alumni base of over 900,000. All in and all ready to make the PSAC yours. It's the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference.
We're back here at Mansfield University, and a big basket by Jameer Green, along with Drew Patrick, Dennis Sweeney on hand, and
Let's take a look at that here as he goes to shoot his 3. This was set up. Watch, everyone sucks in on Trevor. That leaves Jameer open there to put that up. He does miss his free throw, however.
It's capped a great comeback here by the Mounties. They trailed by 12 at the half. They've cut it to 2. This is the closest they've been since early in this. In and out. That one was halfway down by Armani Foster. Mansfield has a chance to tie it up or take the lead on this possession, a key possession here, Drew, from the standpoint they have been knocking on the door. It's like crawling up that hill. You just get close enough, and then you fall back down. Here's Green. Foul line jumper. No good. Rebound battling, and it's just all Trevor English, and he is outnumbered 4-1 on that. Here's Dave Morris. Morris, crossover dribble off the glass. He missed it, but English back on defense, picks up the rebound.
Well, he's been nicknamed a walking double-double. He's got one here in this game.
Jameer Green, who has opened up with 7 points, 7 of the 9 points scored by the Mounties. Meanwhile, believe it or not, the IUP Crimson Hawks have yet to score in the second half. Moff missed a fall-away jumper. So they've been on almost a 5.5-minute drought. Here's the runner. Good. Wow, friendly bounce for Malik Miller. And that breaks the run that the Mounties had a 9-0 run to start this second half.
Well, you mentioned the 8-0 to start the first half for IUP. A mirror image
so
of
we got ourselves a game. Here's Moff. Front-ended. No good. 45-41. Crimson Hawks up 4. On the right wing, Miller. Miller, kick out. Wide open is Foster. He'll drive in and lays it up and in. So now a 4-0 run by the Crimson Hawks. Again, as I say, trying to get to the top of that mountain sometimes is so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And that missed shot there. Moff was open. It just, for whatever, maybe it was a mental thing, just could not get it to fall, and that may have caused a little bit of chaos.
Here's English. He missed the shot inside over the rim. Down to the other end, Foster. Oh, behind the back to Foster. Good!
Man, oh man, sometimes things go away and you just have the ability to make it work, and that happened there.
Here's a 7-0 run now by the Crimson Hawks. It's 50-41. They're back up by 9 after the Mounties had cut it to 2, and it's out of bounds off of Cook as the referee, Don Kiefer, made the call. Coach Zenesi was not happy with. And now we have our media timeout with 14:32 left in the second half with the score. IUP 50, Mansfield 41. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
UPMC is a visionary hospital, cutting-edge research, all of the exciting things out on the edge of medicine.
There's a challenge every day, and there's the potential to help. When given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, that's a tremendous feeling.
UPMC's interest in bringing the best there is in the science and research and bringing that bench side to the bedside is what makes a huge difference.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
It's all part of Mother Nature's perfect blend, the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter, Tioga, a 2-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
This game has been a game of runs, Drew Patrick. Dennis Sweeney on hand here from Mansfield University's Decker Gymnasium. Mansfield 9-0 run to start the second half. Timeout called by Coach Lombardi. And then the Crimson Hawks, a 7-0 run, and they're back up by 9 is what they led at the half. It's 50-41. Here with the ball now on the right wing is Malik Miller. He's out front to Shondale Jones. Left corner now, back out to Ethan Porterfield, who checked in. He came in the first half. He scored 2 points. Behind the back, Miller one-on-one and missed the lap. Rebound, Trevor English. There's your double-double.
The walking double-double, that is Trevor English.
Yes, and that's in a positive manner. You hear double, you think double dribble. Not in this case. Here's Tyler Moff. Someone is open, and it's Green. Pull-up, jumper. Tough shot, short.
Well, he had it if he wanted to shoot immediately, but took that dribble and allowed the defender to catch up.
Shondale Jones way short on that one, knocked out of bounds off of the hands of Anthony White. and it's Mansfield basketball. They trail by 9 at the 13:43 mark. They come in with a record of 2-5 overall, 1-1 in conference play, while the Indiana University of Pennsylvania Crimson Hawks are undefeated, 6-0. Their last game was last week, so they've had almost a week off. But they started out, it didn't matter. They started this game 8-0, and they have yet to relinquish the lead. Here's English. Got hit once, and that time the basket went in. Looked like he got hit twice.
It seems so effortless for Trevor English.
He makes it easy. He makes it look easy. And as a result, he breaks that 7-0 run. And Porterfield picked up the personal foul, and for Ethan, that's his second.
So Trevor English, of course, is a transfer into Mansfield from Davis and Elkins College. Last game, he actually got his 600th career rebound. Well, there he's added about 12 today.
He's got 15 points. He leads the Mounties in scoring. It's a 6-point lead for IUP. Kick out, wide open, Foster. He missed the three. Rebound into the hands of English. English clears the area. Hands off now to Green. Jamar Green. He had a 7-0 run himself here in the second half. Now to English. He's at the foul line. Backing in on Porterfield. Tough move off the glass. No, he was double teamed on that one. Ahead of the field to White. Recovered. Ball still loose. Kick out to Miller. Malik Miller at the point. Dave Morris is on the bench. Porterfield is in instead. Here is Foster. Armani Foster. Now, foul line jumper. White. In and out rebound. English.
Hand in his face. Sometimes that's all it takes defensively to force a shot to not go in.
It's a 6-point game. 12-15 left in this second half. Tyler Moff. Back to Cook. He's been quiet here in the second half. He'll pull up and shoot. Good. Now Garrett Cook had 12 in the first half. 3 threes. That's why that time he put the ball on the deck, came up, hit a nice jump shot, and it's a 4-point game again.
He's been perfect today shooting.
50-46, under the 12-minute mark here. Kick out, right wing. Foster. He'll drive in, and he is called for steps. And a turnover gives the ball back to the Mounties.
Good defense there in the middle. You gave him that lane, but you didn't pressure him, so he landed and almost got a little confused, brought out the speed bag.
And that timeout, media timeout on the floor with the score. Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Crimson Hawks 50, the Mansfield Mounties 46. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
UPMC brings so much to the table. They're just a comprehensive visionary system.
UPMC is innovative and always on the cutting edge of technology.
Defining not only healthcare, but health.
Its expertise, its focus on patients and what is best for patients.
As UPMC, we're able to elevate the standard of care. Just a wonderful opportunity.
Along with Drew Patrick, Dennis Sweeney on hand from Mansfield University's Decker Gymnasium. Game 2 of our doubleheader. We're under the 12-minute mark, and it's a 4-point game. As we talked about, it's been a game of runs. Another run that went into this timeout.
Every timeout there seems to be an 0 run. That was a Mansfield 5-0 run.
They trail by 4. They've been as close as 2. The biggest lead for IUP was 15 in the first half. Here's Cook, left side Taylor Sweeney. Head and ball fake, drives in. Now kick back out to Moff. Big possession here as Jonathan Ward sets the screen for Moff. Moff drives into traffic. Ball is loose. Ward gets it, puts it in.
Wow, that one just snuck down. Moff got it tangled up. You could have argued a jump ball there. but it gets loose, ends up with Ward up and in.
Ward, the first points off the bench for Mansfield. In the post, Porterfield. Now all front, Anthony White. It's a 2-point game. Porterfield back out. Long bomb. Good.
That's how you quiet a bench and quiet a crowd. Get a big shot like that to go in.
17 for Malik Miller. He's got 5 3-pointers. And it's a 5-point lead for IUP. Ward sets the screen. He's wide open. Now Cook will take for 3. Nope. Ward battles underneath. Right back out to Sweeney. Tomoff almost loses the handle. And Mansfield resets offensively. They trail by 5, 53-48. Moff drives in the lane. The running one-hander. No good. Rebound into the hands of Malik Miller, who just hit a big 3. Stopped a run by Mansfield. Here's Anthony White. Back out front now to Armani Foster. Foster, left-hand dribble. Again, Mansfield sitting back most of this game in a 2-3 zone. Porterfield covered by Ward. Porterfield backing in on Ward. Porterfield, shot is good.
Wow. Just mano-a-mano, took on it and would not be denied. Great shot there.
4 points for Porterfield. And now IUP on a 5-0 run themselves. It was a 50-48 game. Now it's 55-48. We're under 10 minutes left. Sweeney drives in and muscles his way in to get the basket. Taylor Sweeney with 7 points. 5-point game, 55-50. Crimson Hawks, wide open. Miller missed that time. Porterfield off the bench, lays in the chippy, and he's got 6 coming off the bench.
And they're trying to take advantage. You don't have the rebound machine in there in Trevor English. John Ward that time just got beat to the basketball.
And there's Trevor at the scorer's table, and the next dead ball, he'll be in. Here's Green, drives in, missed the layup. Ward with a tip!
Although that time, maybe he heard me up here and got angry about that, because that time he did it perfectly and got that to tip in.
The transfer from Corning Community College has scored 4 off the bench. Here's a kick out on the left side. Anthony White covered by Cook. Quickly they move the ball. The Crimson Hawks, they're up 5, but a travel.
Again, you'll see that called a lot at the Division II level. Just that quick stutter in the ball fake, that back foot sneaks forward, and that's what brings out the speed bag.
And it's a turnover. Ward takes a seat on the bench, but he did a fine job coming off 4 points to spell Trevor English.
Yeah, give Big Trev a little breather, and he came in and played admirably and got that huge tip as well.
57-52. Mounties with the basketball. They trail by 5. We're at 8:20 left here in the second half. Green backing in. English has Porterfield on his backside. Tip back out to Green. Porterfield battling inside on English. They're trying to get it into him. They do. Trevor lays it up and in. Well, there you talk about mano-a-mano. That was classic big men basketball.
Absolutely. And that was a beautiful pass. Threaded the needle between a couple defenders to get it down, and Trev did the rest.
It's what you call old-style basketball. But today's game relies so much on the 3 that I think many times losing that move in the big man inside. And there's a foul as
they called a foul there. They're still fighting over the ball.
Who wants it? Well, I'll tell you, Richard Opong wanted to get the fast break going. But as I was saying right before that, it just seems like basketball has become so outside. It's great to see big men inside make plays like
Mansfield
that.
tries to take advantage of that. They know it's outside basketball. I mean, they have their outside, but when you have such a threat, and they were very fortunate to get him in the transfer portal. He was looking for a new home. We were looking for height, and it was a match made in heaven for Mansfield to bring in a guy like Trevor English.
Media timeout on the floor with 7:49 left in the second half with the score. IUP 57, Mansfield 54. This is Mansfield Basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania. manufacturing.
You can see the socks right now for the Mansfield team. Both Mansfield men and women wore those, and that's special from the Mansfield Foundation who customized those socks. Those socks will be available all here today and at the campus bookstore and the Mansfield Foundation office. And all money raised for those socks goes to members of military scholarships, so part of Military Appreciation Day here. And those standout socks, I like them, man. I need to get me a pair of those.
They look classy. I mean, they blend very nicely with the uniforms, too. So, Drew, Patrick, and Dennis Sweeney here at Mansfield University's Decker Gymnasium. It's a 3-point game. Again, Mansfield, another opportunity to potentially tie this game or cut it to within 1. The closest they've been has been 2. So we'll see what happens. Richard Apong into the game, made a great defensive play, forced a foul on that last possession against the IUP Crimson Hawks, who are undefeated, 6-0, ranked in the top 10. Here is Green. Green between the legs. He'll pull up and shoot. No good. Rebound, all Crimson Hawks underneath.
Very, very good box out by Porterfield. They're pushed.
And there he is at the other end, hustling down the floor, got an easy 2. And he has come off the bench, Drew, and has scored 8 points, 6 here in the second half. 59-54, a 5-point lead again now. Again, it's the story of this game. You and I talked during that recent timeout. It's every time IUP takes the lead, they can't put Mansfield away, and every time Mansfield gets close, they can't crawl over and tie it or take the lead. Inside is Opong, and up to English, who lays it in traffic.
That's a tough contested shot, and Trevor English, you watch him play, and it makes it look like what he's doing is easy because he's so effortless, it seems, underneath.
17 points for English, and a long shot, no good. Here with the ball is now Malik Miller, who has hit some three-pointers, and he'll try another. He's short on that. Porterfield with a rebound. Porterfield with double figures off the bench. Boy, Ethan Porterfield, he has given a boost to Coach Joe Lombardi's team.
Yeah, the freshman from Sharon, Pennsylvania, is doing work today.
Inside now, Green. Green pulls up. Fall-away jumper is good. And they cut it back to a 3-point lead for for Jameer Green. That's 9 points all here in the second half. Porterfield out front. Morris, he misses the 3. Mansfield again, sounding like a broken record CD or MP3. It's a 61-58, 5.5 left, second half. Opportunity to tie. Green looks for a screen from English. He gets it. Green, kick back out, Cook. Wide open, Apong. No good. I didn't want to say anything because it looked like it was going to roll in, but it went out of bounds.
Yeah, just one of those extra bounces. Didn't quite have the shooter's touch on it. Mansfield does keep possession, though.
Well, Jonathan Ward and Tyler Moff now check in for the Mounties. They trail by 3, 61-58. Looking to break their losing streak, while IUP looks to remain undefeated on the season. 61-58, Garrett Cook. Sweeney between the circles. He looks for an opening. Wow. He missed the shot, and it goes out of bounds.
They might have an argue. There might needed to have been a travel call.
I was going to say that was a Euro step plus.
Yeah.
We're under the 5-minute mark, and it's a 3-point game. Anybody's ball game here. With Drew Patrick, Dennis Sweeney on hand for Mountie All Access. We're glad to have you aboard. This big game between IUP and Mansfield. Kick out now, wide open Morris. In and out. Sweeney battles inside, and it's off Porterfield, and it will be Mansfield basketball. They've had 2 straight empty possessions, Drew. Now this one I think is key because, again, they're close to tying it or cutting it within 1.
Yeah, you said exactly what is done. Like, both teams can't quite pull away or pull close. It's been this back and forth, heart-pounding action.
Fans are loving it here at Decker Gymnasium. Jonathan Ward off to Moff. Moff gets a screen from Ward. He'll pull up and shoot. Bang! And we're tied at 61.
You get the bench back in. You get the crowd back in. That is a massive shot by Tyler Moff.
Moff has 8 points. 61 apiece. Under 4 minutes. Shot by Malik. No good. Porterfield is fouled, and he'll go to the foul line. As Malik Miller tried the three, but Porterfield off the bench has had 10 points.
They had no one back under trying to guard Porterfield when that went in. And one last thing before our timeout, too, is IUP's got to calm down, too. Notice how immediately after Mansfield hit that three, they go for a three of their own. That might come back to bite them at the end.
So, with this media timeout, with 3:53 left in the second half, with the score, we're tied 61 apiece between Mansfield and IUP. This is Mansfield basketball on Mountie All Access, brought to you by Visit Potter, Tioga, Pennsylvania. I better read a couple of these here. This year, Mansfield Athletics is proud to partner with Simmons Rockwell Nissan. Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads, New York is your destination for quality automobiles. Come see us for award-winning customer service and a great selection of Nissan vehicles. For more information, visit us online at srnissan.com. Tie game 61 apiece. This is the opening tip was 0-0. After that, it's been all IUP, and now they have a chance, Drew Patrick, for the Crimson Hawks. Ethan Porterfield on the foul line.
These are huge shots for a freshman.
And 10 points all off the bench. Now 11. And his second one, again, he had 2 points in the first half. Oh, he's got 10 in the second, 12 on the game.
Nice water made those both.
And they're up two. And now a little bit of a wrinkle on defense here by IUP. They go to like three-quarter court, 1-2-2. Now they drop back into a man-to-man defense. 3:40 left in this second half. Green, who's been near his scoring average, pass it to English, who missed it. What a no-look pass by Tyler Moff.
That's a big miss for English.
We'll see whether IUP capitalizes. They do. There's a three-pointer. Armani Foster with the three.
You mentioned they're getting it close. They even got it tied, and then just like that, they struggled to hold on to that.
18 for Foster, a 5-point IUP lead. Jameer Green, he's into the paint. The lefty throws it up there. Not taken by English, recovered by Morris. Here come the Crimson Hawks. Alley-oop, slam dunk by Malik Miller.
Wow.
Could see that one from midcourt. So now, just like that, it's a 7-point lead, and a timeout is called by Mansfield coach John Zenesi.
A really good timeout. A play like that just absolutely sucks the life out of you.
And we'll keep it right here because we want to say this year Mansfield Athletics is proud to partner with Visit Potter, Tioga. Explore the possibilities with the keystone of the Keystone State, Potter and Tioga counties in Pennsylvania. Outdoor recreation lives here with 10 state parks, 2 federal parks, and over 400,000 acres of state forest land. Find us online at visitpottertioga.com to plan your next adventure.
Coming out of this timeout, Mansfield, I love this timeout because you have to calm the masses. It's what happened in the overtime period last game on Wednesday where they struggled. Granted, it seemed like Roberts Wesleyan couldn't miss a shot in that overtime period, but the momentum just takes a big swing, especially a massive alley-oop like that got their entire bench on, and it's a gut punch. Mansfield's got to calm down and attack.
Well, a 7-0 run by IUP gives them a 7-point lead after Mansfield fought back to tie it up, and there's a turnover.
Oh, that is a big...
Yeah, that went out of bounds, and it's off of IUP.
He never had control, so I believe he'll stay at 13.
Yep, and that is. The shot clock remains at 13. Oh, nice pass into English. English is fouled on the floor.
We've had a relatively clean half. That's foul number 4, I believe, team-wise, and that's also his 4th, Dave Morris.
Yes, it is. So he will take a quick seat on the bench, or he may sit there the rest of the game. Who knows? Because here's the inbounds to Taylor Sweeney, handoff to Tyler Moff. We're at 2:25 left in the second half, a 7-point Crimson Hawk lead over the Mounties of Mansfield. Here's Moff, left wing, wide open jumper, Green, way off, no good. Rebound in traffic and a foul. Let's see who the call is on. So I think it's on Tyler Moff. For Tyler, that's the second. Now you run into a situation, we're running this late in the game and not a lot of fouls. There's only 3 on Mansfield.
You have some to give. That one there with Tyler Moff, he just tried to jump into the play. And if you jump forward, again, I've said, I feel like I've said the expression 9 times out of 10, but there's a reason they're going to call that.
Sure. Coaches don't mind offensive rebounding or fouls on rebounding because it shows aggressiveness, and that's what Coach Zenesi is looking for. They've got themselves still within reach. Here is Morris with 4 fouls, just comes back off the bench, so I was wrong on that one. And he hits a 3.
That's a dagger of a 3 up by 10.
Moff answers back. Nope, rebound English. We're under 2 minutes left. Trevor English backs in, and it's an offensive foul called on Trevor English. And it's a big foul, and now that's team foul number 4 against the Mounties. And that's his 3rd personal.
That's one you fall down when Trevor English is backing down, and he's just so big and powerful when he's backing you down, you can get that to look like an offensive foul.
That was a big foul call against the Mounties.
And with 1:30, you're at the point where you're going to have to start.
And there's the first. That one is
Eli Alvin they brought in for that.
Yeah, just specifically to commit the foul. That's for Alvin, his first. And now Tyler Moff. That's the 16th foul. So the next one will put the Crimson Hawks on the foul line.
He's got 3. You want to drop him back, and I guess they're not going to foul
I
here.
guess they're just going to play defense on this. They're down 10, minute and a half left. Alvin covering Morris, screened by Porterfield. Their clock is down to 13. I guess if they're going to play out this possession and not foul. Here's Morris. He'll pop it for 3. Nope. A lot of bouncing around. Alvin got the rebound. He'll bring the ball up. We're at the minute mark here in the second half. He'll drive in. The lefty layup. No good. Rebound English. He puts it up and in. And he's fouled on the play.
Wow. I have to say, Eli Alvin defensively, Eli is one of those players. He is incredibly, incredibly athletic. Sometimes too athletic for his body to catch up. I've joked before with him, but that was a great job. Brought it down, took charge, took the lane, and Trev was able to draw the foul and foul out Dave Morris.
Yeah, Morris, who had come in and hit a big 3-pointer, he leaves with 7 points, and it's an 8-point lead, and Trevor English will be at the foul line to try to complete the 3-point play. English right now, unofficially, I have him with 21 points, and he's averaged, he's over his average on the season, Drew, from the standpoint that he was averaging just over 19. He's at 21 with a possibility of 22.
You want to hear something also incredible? He has 18 rebounds.
Wow. Wow. Yes, to say that he has owned the boards is one thing, and he certainly has in this situation with 57.6 seconds left. Trevor English misses. Big miss. Ball goes out of bounds. No, I'm sorry, and a foul.
Those late game missed free throws really was the dagger in Mansfield's heart on Wednesday. And
that's what Coach Zenesi told me. Free throws, one of the worst in the league, he said. Mansfield Athletics is proud to partner with Jason's Pub and Grill just north of Mansfield in Tioga, PA. Offers some of the best pub food around, featuring cheesesteaks, wings, burgers, and more. The pub has a wide selection of beverages to choose from as you watch the big game. Find Jason's Pub and Grill on Facebook to stay up to date with specials and fun events. That was a missed free shot and a loose ball and a foul called.
yeah, that's one of those ones that's incredibly unfortunate. That it just bounces long. You got a long rebound off the miss, and they're right back to the line.
Green commits the personal. That's only
that's
fourth. Excuse me. Yes. Well, Miller makes that one. It's a 9-point lead with 55 seconds left in this contest, or in the second half. The second one in and out. So it's 9 points. Here's Tyler Moff. He sees the opening lane, drives in, and he moved his pivot foot, travel, turnover, gives the ball right back to the IUP Crimson Hawks.
Oh, man, that's one of those ones he's going to want to have back.
He saw the alley, saw the lane, and he just moved his pivot foot when he spun around. So Trevor English will take a seat. Now Mansfield will pick up full court, man-to-man. Jonathan Ward in. There's one man deep. I don't think they see him back there, but foul in the back court. And that will be shooting free throws for the Crimson Hawks. Will be Armani Foster.
And Jameer Green will have to sit for the rest of this game. That's foul number 5 for him.
And shooting at the foul line will be Armani Foster. On the season coming into today's game, he was shooting 67% from the foul line.
That's not a guy you want at the line. Although they've missed a couple, and you said you had a chance to speak with Coach Lombardi, and that was one of the things he said they need to improve on as well, was their free throws.
Yeah, he said that Coach Zenesi was concerned about the free throws. Coach Lombardi was very concerned about the athleticism of Mansfield and it's shown here, right, because they haven't been able to put them away.
Yeah.
You know, Foster makes good on that free shot.
They're fighting too, though. Of course, still in the single bonus.
47.2 seconds left. Foster, cool, calm, collected, made both, and it's an 11-point lead. Moff into English. English back in on Porterfield. Porterfield, who's played very well coming off the bench. I have him unofficially, Drew, having scored 14 points, 12 here in the second half.
Yeah, and he's the one who matches up, at least height-wise, both listed at 6'8" with Trevor English, so they've put height on height. And as a freshman, he's had an outstanding game for himself.
Yeah, he got popped one time inside in traffic where he took the foul, and I think he was checking his zip code but he has really bounced back here. And there's 2 for Foster. He's 4 for 4 here in the closing seconds of this contest.
Yeah, just the way this game has gone, the score might be a lot further away than what this game really was.
Well, you think about it, Drew, from the standpoint, Mansfield tied it up at 61, and since that time, it's been a 15-2 run for the Crimson Hawks, and it looks as though that winning streak will continue for the IUP men's team. They will leave Mansfield with an overall record of 7-0. They will be 3-0 in conference play, while the Mansfield Mounties will drop to 2-6 and 1-2 in league play. A tough loss for Coach Zenesi, 1.9 seconds as The Crimson Hawks just let the clock run out, and so will Mansfield. The fans here were entertained to a very competitive second half. As you said, the score is really not indicative of how close this game was at times when Mansfield tied it up at 61, but then fell to the Crimson Hawks 76-63.
Yeah, just again, there are positives, incredible positives for Mansfield to take away from this game. This may be the best team in the conference, and they held their own against the best team in the conference. They've been frustrated about how this season has started, but I think that gives this team a lot of confidence moving forward in the PSAC. They have Gannon and Clarion, two more of Western Conference teams in their next bout at home at the end of December, that they really have the opportunity to get some of those games, use this as momentum. Yes, it sucks that you're leaving with a loss, but you can take the positives away from this game. Defensively, this was a good defensive standing for them. Under 80 points, I was saying that was that scale that they kept going over, that they wanted to continue to bring down. This is more of a PSAC score in terms of 76-64.
And you look at Mansfield did not have Christian Simmons in this game. You lose 18, 19-point scorer, and the energy, as you say, that he brings this team. That was a big gap. But you know, you got to give credit. Jonathan Ward played well off the bench. Trevor English, he had his points of over 20, and as a result, it was a tough loss for the Mounties, as English ended up with 21 points.
21 and 19.
Wow. Yeah, and Green had 9 all in the second half. And also for Mansfield, we'll finish the rounding out of the scoring here. Garrett Cook had 14, 9 for Green all in the second half, 8 for Tyler Moff, 7 for Taylor Sweeney, and 4 for Jonathan Ward off the bench. The Crimson Hawks were led in scoring by Armani Foster with 22. Malik Miller had 20. 12 for Ethan Porterfield off the bench. 7 apiece for Chucky Humphreys, Dave Morris, who fouled out of the game. And Shondale Jones had 6. Anthony White had 2 points. You look at the shooting percentage. IUP shot 46% from the floor, 29% from 3. While Mansfield shot 42% from the floor, 35% for 3, 6 for 17, but still not enough. The biggest lead of the game was 15 by IUP, and they had several runs, but Mansfield tied it at 61, and then that last run of the game really did end the Mounties.
Yeah, just a great showing for IUP. Malik Miller, not only did he have 20-plus points, he finishes with a double-double. He had 11 boards on the game as well. So IUP leaves here, both teams a winner.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you this afternoon, Drew, and thanks for carrying me along in the first broadcast here on the Mountie All Access. Again, a recap, doubleheader action, game 1. It was a doubleheader sweep for IUP. In the women's game, it was IUP 71, Mansfield 38. And in the nightcap, the men came through for IUP. The final score, 76-63. For Drew Patrick, this is Dennis Sweeney saying so long from Decker Gymnasium on the campus of Mansfield University. Thank you for listening. This is Mansfield Basketball on Mounties All Access, brought to you by Visit